Aisling.
I'm Ali.
And we are the founders of a sustainable fashion community called The New Wardrobe.
Today, basically, we're just going to have a quick chat about sustainable fashion, what it means to us, how we got here.
How we found out about the fast fashion industry and kind of the impact that it has on the environment and people. Like all those mixed emotions that you get when you find out about it and you're not really sure what to do. And so many of the stories that we've heard have been so similar and just so similar to ours. And we just really wanted to share how it happened for us and how we kind of got to where we are now running something like The New Wardrobe. And we'd love to hear what stories you guys have as well, and if they're similar or if they're really different, or what barriers you faced in trying to become more sustainable in your fashion choices.
And I guess how you might want to get involved with The New Wardrobe.
Do you want to talk about how you started?
Yeah, sure.
The aha moment, or like more of a
yeah, the terrible feeling when you suddenly realise that going to Topshop every Friday and Saturday and spending all your money isn't the best thing you can do with your money. I guess my sustainable fashion journey began at university. So before, as a teenager and my first few years of uni, I was just obsessed with buying new clothes every weekend from the high street, online. I always wanted a new outfit. I was super conscious of what I wore, and I guess just like always wanted to wear something new. And I didn't really think about where it was coming from, and I certainly didn't think about what I would do with it once I wore it to that party. I just didn't really think past that moment when I get like the Facebook picture. That kind of all changed for me when I went on, well, you were also on this program with SUAS, which is an Irish NGO, and they bring Irish kind of university students to India. And I had this amazing experience in Delhi where one of the coordinators brought us out to an area where there was loads of garment factories and arranged for us to kind of speak with a really good translator with some garment workers for I think it was 5 or 6 hours. And we were all sat in this like tiny room. And they just like told us about their lives. They told us about not being allowed to go for toilet breaks. They told us about how hot it was in the factories. They cited loads of brands that like I would buy or want to buy or probably couldn't afford, some really like luxury brands as well. They said how they worked in kind of like legit factories, but a lot of things were outsourced, so they knew lots of their friends worked in it in the home or in kind of sweatshops. And they were really like, please, this has to change. And it was definitely the most harrowing experience that I had ever had, and I had to confront myself and think about, like, can you continue to live in and have your same lifestyle if you definitely know that it is hurting people. When I got home to Ireland, it was a bit of a selfish thing because I was like, I still want to really enjoy fashion. I love going out and wearing cool clothes, but I really need to find a way of doing this that I don't feel really terrible, and know that I'm inflicting harm to other people on the planet. So I guess that was like my starting point. But then there was this complete helplessness when I actually tried to start. So it was like Googling, ethical fashion, and a lot of big fast fashion brands have like pages about what they do with sustainability and ethics, and they're trying to pretend that they do a lot more than they do. So I was quite confused, and I was like, apparently this is fair trade, apparently this isn't. I didn't know. It takes a lot of work to kind of get your head around all the different labeling and all the different standards. The more I researched, I also started thinking about the environmental component. So I was like, I always just drop my old clothes off at a charity shop. But where does that end up? I was definitely just like completely confused. And maybe you want to jump in and talk about your...
Absolutely loved fast fashion. We talk about fast fashion a lot in this video. I didn't know what fast fashion was. To me, it was just fashion. I never thought about fashion as anything kind of other than on the shop floor. So what fast fashion is, just give a bit of a background. Before the 80s, you would have had just 2 seasons a year. So you'd have your spring, summer and autumn, winter. But now, instead of having 2 seasons a year, we now have 52 seasons a year. Us being able to go into the high street every other day and probably see a new design on the shop floor, and they just come in quicker and quicker. So yeah, like I hadn't even heard of the term fast fashion, and I was also over in India, but I wasn't in Delhi, so there weren't garment factories. I was in Kolkata at the time. I just saw so much pollution and so many toxic rivers. I could kind of see how people's whole life was affected by the pollution from creating so much product. It just ended up having so much pollution. What I thought was so strange now was like when I went over to India, I was so excited to go to Delhi to these markets where if there was kind of something wrong with one of the pieces of clothing, they get sold in this big market for like €2. And so you get clothes for next to nothing that you'd have to pay 50, €60 in the high street. And from my thought process going over, I was like, this is amazing. I get like clothes that are already cheap for way cheaper. And then by the end of the trip, I just had this completely different outlook on everything. And by the time I actually got to Delhi, I was just like, this is not okay. We can't afford to make clothes for so cheap. The actual true cost is the people who have to make them. But I kind of slowly found out, I was over there for about 3 months, and during my time there I just kind of slowly started to realise that actually how we consume things in Europe and especially America is just so wasteful. Like we just seem to buy. And then I think my initial reaction when I went over and I kind of saw the conditions that people would be working in, or the kind of heat that people are working in, how much they're exploited, my initial reaction was no, like that's not, like surely that's not actually happening. I just couldn't see the relationship between amazing fashion and exploitation of people and the planet that was going on behind it. It just didn't make sense to me. I was like, how, like if it was so bad, like we wouldn't all be doing it. And like the more you learn, the more you're like, actually this is how it is. Like it is so hidden, and it's so hard for us to connect with it because it's so far away from us. And I just felt maybe I just felt so lost about the whole thing. I just was like, well, I don't know what to do, so like I'm going to go shopping when I need to get a new outfit. 2 years even before we met and kind of got chatting about it, and for that whole time I just felt really alone.
When I came back, I think I was that really annoying student at parties saying like, we're all terrible, you all should be wearing ethical clothes, and then like no one obviously wants to talk to me, and I felt like yeah, definitely like killing the buzz, but also I just didn't really know who to talk to about it. And then there's this constant, every time you go out someone's like, oh, nice dress, where'd you get it, everyone's complimenting each other's outfits. It's such a big thing about going out, and
like it is a really nice experience wearing something pretty. Like there is something about the feeling of getting to try amazing fashion, or the feeling of just going out and being like, oh, I feel so good in this.
And also
Can we do that in a different way? Like it's 2018, our only option right now is to go and buy something to get that experience.
every time, like a
But like,
disposable
yeah,
£7 dress on boohoo.com.
yeah,
It's just so accessible as well.
yeah.
So there's no reason to kind of question it or reason to look further, because you can order a dress on your phone in like 2 taps. You can walk into any H&M because they're on every single road at this stage. Changing this kind of automatic habits I found really hard. And so especially if I was like stressed or having a bad day, I'd be like, I'm just gonna browse, and then I come out with all these sale items that I didn't need, and they're all like not my size, and it's just this reflex that you associate this like quick fix, I think. And so when you try and have a conversation of like, well, maybe we shouldn't buy new things at all, it's quite a hard starting place with people who, when you socialise, you talk about what you're wearing, where you got it, what you want to wear to the next thing.
Finding out that actually fast fashion has this like really, really bad environmental and social impact. I guess when you like initially find that out, you want to tell loads of people, and it's so hard to actually know how do you get people on board with it, and like how do you kind of start that conversation with your friends, because like I was so annoying for ages.
Oh my
like
gosh.
I would just like give out
Intolerable.
I would like I would like give out to my friends about the fast fashion industry, but not having done anything myself to change it. I was just like, isn't this so bad? Like, can some people agree? And they would obviously agree because they're like, yeah, like this is bad. But it was like, I wasn't giving any options, and
No
I didn't know any
alternatives,
other options. I think it's so hard to like have that conversation, and it's so much harder when you feel like you're on your own with it.
Completely.
Like, that's why I think we got on so well when we first became friends.
Yeah, because
Was
you're
'cause
both intolerable together.
Yeah. But it's like when you find people that you're like, actually, I'm not the only one that thinks this. Like, I don't necessarily want to be fueling this whole fast fashion industry. Yes, I want to enjoy fashion.
No,
Do
completely.
you know, like,
And,
it's
like,
such
the
an important part of
creativity
life.
and expression.
Yeah.
But I think that like meeting someone or like getting in touch with people who have similar concerns, then like it suddenly is no longer this like sad guilt trip conversation. The
Yeah.
conversation is like, okay, yes, we both agree on this like basic assumptions and we know about this. Now like what options are there? How can we help each other? What can we do to change? And I think
Yeah.
that was really helpful and probably made me less of a bored party. So